Oh, here we go. The WNBA has handed down a punishment to the Las Vegas Aces that is softer than the Pillsbury Doughboy. The punishment, a 2-game suspension for Becky Hammon and a loss of their first round draft pick in 2025 following the WNBA's investigation that found that the franchise violated the league rules regarding impermissible player benefits and workplace policies. Now, this video is a fairly early reaction, and my take initially is nobody is happy with this punishment. First, the Players Association had this to say regarding the ruling. Where in this decision does this team or any other team across the league learn the lesson that respect in the workplace is the highest standard and a player's dignity cannot be manipulated? Incidents of misconduct by a team staff cannot always be compared, but recent penalties imposed by the league and an honest view of the facts demonstrate that this penalty is far from appropriate. While taking away a future draft pick is significant and had never been done in the league's history, it penalizes a future player by removing an opportunity to compete for a job. Now, this response from the Players Association is pretty much standard fare and what you would expect from a Players Association, and it seems about the right tone. But the Aces' response is interesting as they are not admitting any guilt or contrition. As the Aces said in their statement that they were deeply disappointed by the outcome of the WNBA investigation, saying, "We are all committed to supporting our players to the fullest extent allowed by the WNBA. Our actions have always been consistent with our responsibility to hold ourselves in the highest professional standard, and the facts we presented were consistent with these standards. The well-being of our players and their families has and always will be at the forefront of who we are. The WNBA's determination about Becky Hammon are inconsistent with what we know and love about her. Becky is a caring human being who forges close personal relationships with her players. We stand behind Coach Hammon as she continues to lead the Las Vegas Aces." Now, you are likely aware the Aces are owned by Mark Davis, the owner of the football Raiders. So he is no stranger to taking on the league or having a dispute with it, as he saw his old man take the NFL to court regarding moving them to Los Angeles. However, with that being said, they got rid of John Gruden pretty quickly once his emails were leaked and they knew that his position was untenable with the players. And I think this will be the same with Hammon. If the players don't turn on her, then this is merely a speeding fine or a speed bump for the Aces, which is why I am surprised by their statement. In reality, the league just did them a solid. The punishment is so light, and instead of saying, we'll take a look at this and learn from it and blah, 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 but no, they're digging in and saying, we did everything right, and Becky Hammon is a wonderful, lovely human being, and we don't think this is right. Why aren't the Aces going this route? In reality, the WNBA just gave them what I would term the major college football team punishment for an offseason indiscretion. You know, star player gets caught DUI or something like that, or the coach has some issue, and the standard fair punishment is, hey, we'll suspend you for the first 2 games, and these are usually cupcake games against Miami of Ohio or Akron State or something like that. And yes, it hurts the major power team, i.e. Alabama or Auburn or some SEC team usually. Sorry, SEC. And they wind up only beating that team by 50 points instead of the usual 75 points they usually destroy those poor early sacrificial lamb teams on their schedule. You see, the punishment handed to Hammon and the Aces is not only light, but it's super light, as it's only a 2-game suspension for her. If they really wanted to embarrass the Aces, they would have made it 3 games and totally screwed up their ring ceremony, as the Aces' first 2 games are on the road, and what do you know? Game 3 is their homecoming or first season opener in Las Vegas and the coronation of their championship. We would not want the abusive, bullying WNBA coach to miss her ring ceremony. And yes, the Aces cheated the cap with the under-table payments, but hey, that's okay. Let them have their ring and banner party, as we got them good with the loss of their first-round draft pick in 2025. Oh yes, Dallas, thank you for re-illustrating the value of a late number 1 pick with your cut of Abby Myers. Yes, that will be devastating to the Aces, that loss of their 2025 pick. Now, lucky for the Aces and the WNBA, this is not a national game of the day, as that will be the Connecticut Sun versus New York. But don't worry, it will be plenty awkward if Hamby travels with the Sparks to this game. At this stage, I bet she will not attend the game, but man, it would be fun if she did, as I love the awkward. Now, the elephant in the room for the Aces is the recent signing of Candace Parker, Alicia Clark, and Kayla George, as other teams raise concerns about that. But have no fear, as the WNBA says they could not substantiate any of those concerns. So these signings, again, have no fear. All of these signings were above board. Candace Parker signed for the minimum. There's no under-the-table payments at all. Alicia Clark as well. It's all above board. Do not worry, WNBA fans, and do not feel aggrieved, because we've investigated this and there's nothing there. Do you understand that? A 2-game suspension and this is done. Never to be talked about again, and they lose their draft pick. Never to be talked about again. Now, I'm sure what you're saying is, hey, the league described this as violating rules regarding impermissible benefits. Yes, I understand that. The league understands that, but they've lost their draft pick, and this is a done deal. Do you understand that? This is much like, the evil New England Patriots and the Spygate scandal. The league issued a punishment of draft picks from memory, and then they burned the tapes and they said this is a dead issue, never to be spoken of again. And then, if you recall, after that, the Pats went about wreaking havoc on the league, with Belichick running up the score on all the teams, taking delight, and they were a game, or basically they had the perfect season that they blew in the Super Bowl. So that is what I think the Aces will probably come out firing and looking to wreck the league and other teams for payback, as I think they are going to come out with the mentality of the league is against us. And really, to be honest, a lot of this I'm doing is tongue-in-cheek, because come on, you're telling me the Liberty aren't paying under the cap. You're telling me other teams aren't paying under the cap. They all do it. And as well, watch my other video. I understand why the Aces were pissed at Hamby. I think it's the ridiculous maternity leave policy they have in place, which is to blame for this. Controversial opinion, some don't like it, but I stand by it. Please like and subscribe the video if you do. Your poison below is always welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. Good night.